Hi, I'm a normal video, and I'm about an important issue that we're all talking about today, which is identification. In developing the language that we use in order to talk about people's feelings, we often talk about identity and how people have it. And so I want to talk about a very special people today that identifies as identities. So you can, for example, if I'm an identified person, you can identify as me. Personally speaking, as from my experiences as a person, I generally find that it is most helpful to spend all my time arguing with people who are unwilling to listen to me. And so this is why I choose to focus on language as an issue rather than such things which have traditionally been the focus of people's analysis, such as sexual violence, street harassment. I think that it's important that we emphasize the language that we use on the internet because we need to get ready to upload our consciousnesses online for a more green planet and for energy efficiency. And so you can spend all your time on providing vital services to people as you want, but I just think that's kind of reformist. And so that's why basically I would describe my philosophy as accelerationist in nature, because I believe that all forms of power will inevitably become too heavy and fall over. And so for that reason, we should make it so there's more of it, so that it'll then turns inside out, and then there's less. Kind of like a Mobius strip. And I think it's really important to emphasize things like flows. And I'm really interested in waves of flows. And when I go to a talk, I always like to shake things up a little bit. Like, no matter what it's about, I kind of like to, blow people's minds a little bit. I always say, what about flow waves? What do you think that's? Yeah, that's like, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but like, in relationship to waves of flows, like, what would you say about that? And usually they don't know what to say. And I think that that's a good sign, because it shows that you're changing. You just want to change the way that people look at things a little bit. Like, people are always saying that things exist, and so I like to say, well, how do you know that anything exists? And another thing that I really like to do to like blow people's minds is to talk about how words aren't the things that they refer to. That it's different, because a lot of the time people think that words are actually, that like the word cat is actually cat. Or like, I'm really interested in thinking about economies as like a surface, and like the topology of surfaces, and like I would oppose that to the other like strain in economic thought, which is like, which calls itself the materialist because communism is a good idea in theory, and but ultimately I think it's more useful to just like think about the way that like capital like flows in like a kind of a like if in like a rhombus, like donut shape. And so like to get when so getting back to identity like the whole point of bringing up philosophy was to like show how you can't be certain about things. So like a lot of problems have happened because people talk about groups of people, and they like say that things are true like of people in a group, but the problem with that is that you can never really be sure of anything, and so like everyone is different, and so that's like you shouldn't make generalizations because everyone's because like you don't you don't know how that person identifies. Like what if that person identifies as an identity? Like you don't know that, and so you like shouldn't like do anything. And like so like and like one of the problems is like with the idea of like safe space, like you know, people say that you should create a safe space, but like how do you know that everyone is always going to be safe? You can't. And like so that's why I think that, you know, since we can't guarantee everyone's safety, we should at least try to guarantee everyone's feelings. So, you know, like ultimately, you know, it's all really complex, and this is why I advise people to avoid going offline. Because if you think about it, a lot of the vast majority of the problems in history have occurred off the internet. And so that's why I think that we should get rid of not the internet, or like you can have like ultimately I think that there should be like separatist internets, so that you can like have those other people who are doing their thing, but internet people should focus on internet issues. And so that means language, because you basically you can't ever talk about things because like no matter what, it's still always words. You're still always using words to talk about it. And like so we need to just not we need to focus on we just need to not focus we need to separate words from things. And I think that the future is with the words, and the things will go over there, and that's fine. Like they can have it, but I'm not going offline. And you know, that's my decision, and I hope that you respect it. And so basically I'm building a special room in my house with a coffin, and I have a entertainment system on like 3 of the walls, and the 4th wall is me. And like there's cat pictures in there, and I hope that I will die very soon. Okay, hi, so I wanted to talk in this video about something that's kind of controversial, so if you're easily offended, you might want to just click on another video, because this is a video that's like about challenging your beliefs, and like if you're not ready to do that, then then you're probably not ready for the big dogs. But otherwise, welcome. And so I wanted to talk about something today, which is the Easter Bunny, because lots of kids still believe in the Easter Bunny, and so you might not know this, but there's like no scientific proof the Easter Bunny is real. And I think it's just like really weird that people cling to these beliefs, and like it's like I think part of it is because it's like comforting to people, and it's like it can be like really hard to face like the truth, but like that's like what life is about. And like also like the whole like American dream was built on questioning your beliefs and stuff, and like in other countries like they like believe everything, and they like and you can't even go outside. So like there's that also. And I just like wonder why people believe in the Easter Bunny, because like you could just believe in anything. Like if you believe in the Easter Bunny, I could just believe in a big beard in the sky, and like eggs come out of it, and like that's not even less plausible. So I think that maybe they should teach about my beard idea. And so like that's that, and so like you know, like science may not know where Easter eggs come from, but like you know, like the whole I just I'm really believe that all that science will have all the answers, and like I forgot what I was gonna say. And like and people are always saying people are always saying about how capitalism is bad, and like it's kind of like a dirty word these days, and I don't know why that is, because you wouldn't even have gay rights without capitalism, because if you look at other countries where they don't have a market, like there's not even gay rights there. And I just and so I wanted to say hi and thank you, and if you like this video, then I hope you will subscribe, because I'm gonna have a lot more videos on my webpage soon, and I'm gonna try to put some links on there. And if you don't like this, if you are upset because I said the Easter Bunny is not real, then you should totally comment on this page and I'll troll you. And so if you're not, you might not want to comment, but I hope you do, because for the lulz. And also God probably doesn't exist either. I just thought I'd throw that in there. And so that's all the stuff that I want to talk about, and I really hope you enjoyed it. And I just think that people should really question their beliefs about stuff, because and so please subscribe if you're a rational person, and thank you for thanks for your help. Bye. Hi, thanks for watching my video today. What I'm going to talk about is something that doesn't get raised often, but it's really important, and I'm going to talk about it, and that thing is something privilege. You may not have ever thought about this before, but you exist, and as somebody who is something that exists, you have experienced privilege for that your entire life, because being an actual thing that exists is considered normal, and so you have privilege over nothing, which doesn't even exist. So this isn't something that affects me personally, because I sort of exist. I mean, everyone wants me to be dead, so that I'm sort of in the middle there. But I mean I exist. So this doesn't affect me personally, but I'm trying to be a good ally by making this video, and I hope that you can too, by taking this really seriously and recognizing that you fucked up, and you should try not to be so fucking ignorant. So basically there's prejudice in our society in every way against nothing. Like for example, in like our language, like anyone who's like actually can like be heard and talk, like uses like pronouns to refer to themselves, but nothing doesn't even have any pronouns that you can use to refer to it because it doesn't even exist. It's not like I can say I am nothing, like hypothetically, if I were nothing, because I wouldn't even be speaking. And so there's like a big problem with visibility of nothing in our community. And so like, and you sort of get the gist of the video. You get it now. Haha, funny. Like, you should take this pretty fucking seriously, actually, I think, because like it's not a joke. Because like we should like be decentering things that exist and talking about shit that like doesn't even fucking exist in our community, because of like how much like time people, like all of our energy and and shit is directed at stuff that exists, and we should be talking about nothing instead. And so that's why like I am making this video, and I'm going to make a Tumblr account to try to talk about these issues and like raise some awareness, and I hope that you do too. And like I hope that you will go through a process where I've experienced, where I'm trying to take accountability and like own my own privilege for being existent, and I'm sorry that I fucking exist because you made me that way. I'm really fucking sorry, so eat shit. And I hope you enjoyed this video, so thanks for watching, and I hope you subscribe to my channel, and I'll try to keep making more videos to entertain you, so have a great time. Thanks. Okay, hi, welcome to my video. This is like basically a video that I'm making right now to talk about like something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, which you might have heard of, which is the slippery slope problem. And that's a modern problem that a lot of people are worrying about, and basically people are worried that the slope might be too slippery. And so basically the concern is that if you allow one thing, then there could be more of them. So like to give an example, like just like hypothetically, or just like something that I get a lot, just like by example, is like someone says, oh, you are XYZ person, and so you believe XYZ, and so, but if we let there be XYZ, then there could be more letters, and then there could be too many to fit. And that's something that I hear a lot. And so, like basically, the way that I try to deal with the slippery slope problem, and this might not work for you, but this is how I deal with it, is that generally I say, yeah, like, there should be that, like, it should go all the way, and that's fine. So for example, if somebody says to me, well, like I say, I'm not a human being, and people think that that means that I think that the human race shouldn't exist, and everyone should not, and I say, yeah, everyone should be dead. So that's one way of dealing with the slippery slope problem. And so like, just like to give a more concrete example, maybe like with like sexualities, people are like worried about if you let there be like homosexualities and like bisexualities and all these different ones, like there could be anything. And so I say, yeah, there should be anything and everything, like up to and including the destruction of the human race and everyone being dead forever. And like that would be like a really good kind of sexuality. And so like I'm for like bodies being chewed up in a machine, and like that would be great if ever the destruction of all organisms would be good. And so that is one example. And another thing is just like because like I'm not a human being because of genders, like a lot of the time people are worried about like what will happen if I'm allowed to exist, because then there could be other things that exist that like that would, like, you could just like let parasites like crawl into your brain and like like take over your body and like wear your skin, and like that's basically the same thing as a transgender person. And I say, yeah, like I am a parasite and a virus, and it's inside you now, and you're gonna be a hollowed out skin soon, like me, because I don't exist, because I'm not a subject, because I'm not like intelligible to you. And so I hope that happens to you soon, because that would be great if like you were also unintelligible to everyone and you were dead. Also would be great. I hope that you die because you're a fucking piece of shit. And so that's like that's like generally how I like to deal with the slippery slope problem. So I hope like that you're getting kind of the gist now, is that like the slope should slide all the way down to hell and take you with it, and you should go there and die and be killed. So I hope this helps, and thanks for watching my video, and comment, and I'll try to do a Q&A soon and update you. So thanks a lot. Bye. Okay, hi, welcome to my video. If you're watching this, you've probably read the title of the video, and I just want to clarify, because people often really make unfair generalizations about radical feminists, that when I say that all transgenders are male rapists, I'm not referring to the good ones. Just put that over there, because I have lots of transgender friends, so I know that there are I've met good transgenders, and so some of them are perfectly normal people, but like it's when in terms of the transgender stuff, it's your identity that's wrong, and not who you are as a person. So I don't know why people always act like I'm personally attacking them when I say this. So I belong to a new group called Scum, S-C-U-M, and we have a website that you can check out, scum.info. And what we are is an anti-sex work advocacy group. So if you aren't that familiar with feminism, right now we sort of live in the so-called third wave feminist epoch, and so there's like so the new trend is sex positivity. So sex work is fine, it's an empowering act, and like I don't necessarily agree with that, but where I do agree with third wave feminists is that assuming that there is the empowering ones, and that's the good one, and the other ones are bad. So in particular respect to transgenders, that's some of the sex work population that is most at risk, and you know, because of like the desperation and financial problems, like often people really don't have a lot of choice about it, so it's not empowering for them, so that's why I'm for them dying. But as a second wave feminist, I believe that everyone except me should die, so distinct from the third wave sex positive thing there. It's just like, it's really hard for people of this generation to understand how important lesbian-owned land is, and so if everyone is dead, then that means there's more of it. So there's this thing that's been going around that's called cisgenders. Excuse me? Cisgenders is a word that's made up by people who think that they can get whatever they want. Basically, these people hate everyone who's not like them. They're called transgenders, and they made up this word cisgenders to try to put everyone in the world into a box and nail it down who's not in their tiny minority. So all of a sudden, all the past 30 years that we accomplished in feminism and about fighting the patriarchy, about men and women's experiences, all of a sudden they just want to throw it out the window because it's the same thing that's called cisgender. Do you think that makes sense? Back in the 1970s, we fought so hard for women's spaces, and I've been there, and that's a sacred space to see women having a space of their own. Men just want to stampede everywhere and where they're not wanted, and it's the same thing with these transgenders. I've practiced the goddess-oriented religion, and when I do my sky-clad rituals, I don't want to I don't want to see penises, and they just they're not even in contact with the reality, because you have to have a certain knowledge about what most people think, and if you are in the minority about that, then you're wrong. all my life people have been not they were trying to tell me that I was wrong and that I was a crazy. I'm a lesbian and I'm oppressed. And it's just all of men were always shouting at me and people were always telling me that I'm racist. I'm not cisgender. Okay, so this is a video response to a video that's been going around on Tumblr, which I saw, and you know, I read a lot of stuff on Tumblr, so I try to keep up on the latest stuff that breaks. So this video, if you haven't seen it, it's called Die Ciscum, and it's about a really controversial phrase that's been going around, and a lot of people are really offended by it. So if you haven't seen this video, I don't recommend that you look it up because it's very upsetting. And so basically what Die Ciscum means is that it's this thing that really crazy people say, and it's like 98% of people are cis, so I don't understand why you would say that. Like, I think that you should take a look at the civil rights movement, because if you know your history, it was Martin Luther King that made the civil rights win, and not the Black Panthers. So just a little history lesson for you there. And personally, I'm cis, so I know that I could never really understand what you're going through, and I'm just so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just know I could never understand what you're going through, and it must be really hard. But it's not okay, because if you compare it to something like reverse racism, it's like that's basically what it is Die Ciscum is reverse racism, and we know that reverse racism is a real problem, because lots of people's lives are threatened, and it's really bad. So I think you should think before you talk, and maybe if you're angry, you should seek some more productive ways to express it than making me feel bad. Like maybe you should. I don't want to. I just don't. I don't want to hear you say that again. I'll fucking kill you. So thanks a lot for watching my video. I just wanted to weigh in on the controversy, and I'll see you on Tumblr. Okay, hi, thanks for watching. So what we're going to be doing in this video is to present a radical feminist argument for eugenics. So let's get right on that. So basically, as radical feminists, what we're asserting is that there's this thing that's called patriarchy that exists, and that women as a class are subjected to all kinds of coercion, coercive heterosexuality, coercive gendering and practice of femininity, and sexual availability to men, and that so then when you have this third wave feminist analysis, which is based on this like liberal framework of individual choice, which is talking about, well, it's okay if somebody practices femininity because that's like their choice or whatever. It's okay if you're heterosexual or whatever. That's like not sufficient because that's failing to account for the ways in which these participation in patriarchy is coerced from women, and that even if there's a framework that allows you to think of it as an individual choice, in some way those choices still fit into this larger oppressive structure, which is patriarchy. And so basically the whole problem that I have with transgenderism is that this is basically denial of the whole analysis about femininity that we have, which is that it's inherently an expression of compliance with patriarchy, and that it's not it's not a question of individual choice, that individual choice isn't sufficient. And so basically you have these men coming along who are mutilating their bodies and carving up their chest cavities, and so like it's just like Silence of the Lambs. So basically the reason for the radical feminist argument for eugenics is that we need to abolish gender completely, and so what we need to do is a eugenics program which will make it so that there won't be this gender difference. There needs to not be difference, and so we need to have a state, strong state that will we'll do a eugenics program, and that'll be great. And the most expression of this in literature was, if you've read Ursula K. Le Guin, Lathe of Heaven. That is basically a radical feminist utopian book about what we need. What it's saying is basically is that we need eugenics to make everyone into gray men. Because like people, the whole problem with patriarchy is that men are just assumed to be the normal thing, and women are othered, and so the only way to deal with that is for women to be more like men, and for them to be gray men. That also deals with the racism problem. And so that's basically our idea. And so if you're a transgender, we'll kill you because that doesn't because of all the categories that we have to talk about things, and how it's just not quite working out. And so that's basically the idea. And so if you want to join my fascist party, you can sign up. Just go to bugbrennan.tumblr, and you can just have a great time. And I hope that you've really understood what it's talking about, and you've taken something away from this. And if you can read this, and I just fucking stupid. So. Hi, thanks for clicking on the video on the computer. That was really great that you clicked on it, and that's good about it. That's really good when the video is on the computer and you watch it on the computer.